Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Shoofly Update Show. This is going to be our last episode for the month of April. Crazy to believe we're already getting ready to turn the page into May, which means we've got a lot of fun events and some new things coming up for this coming week and in the month of May. So we're going to dive right into it with our programming for the week. So, Street, what can we expect to see when we get to the gym this week?
Well, you can expect a lot of the same in different variations. Sorry that the variety isn't too crazy right now. But we are going to continue on with our squat cycle, our front squat, back squat combination. We're getting a little bit heavier this week, but we are going to drop those reps down. So, what you can expect is going to be 2 front squats, followed immediately by 4 back squats. And we're just upping that percentage by 5%. So, not a huge jump, but definitely something that'll be manageable, and still getting some good volume in with each set being 6 reps between the 2 lifts. So that'll be Monday. We're going to continue to squat while our legs are fresh on Mondays. And then Tuesdays are continuing to do like our hero wad prep, specifically looking at Murph. So I know you guys have noticed the increase in running, especially push-ups, and all that stuff. That's going to continue. And you can also expect for Fridays to continue to work on bench press. So we get that little break from Tuesday from horizontal pushing. We can bring it back in on Friday. So really good stuff. We did a 5 rep max last week for bench press. So if you did that, you now have a number, and we're going to be using that number moving forward for the next couple weeks when it comes to that bench press. So that's going to be some useful information for us. Outside of that, I really suggest that you guys increase your water and electrolyte at this point, because looking at the forecast for next week, it is hotter than it was last week. We actually had some cooler days last week, which was nice. But we're now creeping up into the high 70s and getting into the low 80s. So just be prepared for that. Remember that your hydration starts before you get to shoe fly. So not drinking during the workout, but taking the time the night before, and the day of, to make sure you're drinking enough fluids and also getting in some electrolytes. So sodium, potassium, all that good stuff. So that's what I suggest. Also, along those same lines, you're going to see a lot of different stuff going on at the gym, because we have some athletes that have made it to the next level of the CrossFit Games. So we all went through the Open. Everybody crushed it, did really well. Then we had some athletes that made it to that second tier, which is the quarterfinals. All right. Now, based off of how you did in the quarterfinals, you move on to the semifinals. All right. And the semifinals are literally the last step before the CrossFit Games. And they are getting ready to start in about 3 weeks across the country, and actually across the world. There's going to be these different events going on where these athletes are invited to go and compete. We actually have an athlete at Shoofly who has made it that far. You guys may not have been able to meet her yet, but Shaylin. So if you don't know who Shaylin is, you might notice 2 new black dogs at the gym, and they're connected to a human. That human is Shaylin, and she has made it to the semifinals. I know everybody notices dogs more than people, so I like to reference the dogs. But yeah, so Shaylin has been training for that, and hopefully she gets to go to the Mid Atlantic, or the Granite Games. It hasn't been announced yet. It will be announced on Wednesday, but she's been putting in a lot of time and effort into gearing up and getting ready for that. And I'm sure you've noticed her off to the side working on specific skills. We also have another athlete that has made it in the age group qualifiers. The age group qualifiers are for those masters athletes. So for the masters athletes, which Brad, you can correct me, the age group for that is 35 plus, and there's some ages, chopped in half there. And if you do really well in the open, you have your own quarterfinals for the age group qualifiers, and that's basically what John Harper is going to be going into. John's kind of all over the place with the times he comes to classes. Sometimes in the morning, sometimes you can catch him at 4:30 or 5:30 p.m. But what you will notice is towards the end of this week and next week, he's going to be tackling those quarterfinal workouts. So we're going to be making sure we provide enough space in the gym, that he has all the equipment and the support from you guys. So it's going to be a pretty big deal. We want him to do well. Hopefully the next step for him would be going to the CrossFit Games. So if he does well enough, go to the games. So those 2 are going to be working really hard. So pay attention to that, cheer them on. And I'm going to pass it off to Chelsea to talk a little bit about Barbell Club.
All right, y'all. Barbell Club. This week we are still working on those heavy singles. Do not be intimidated by those heavy singles, though. If you guys want to come and just get in some snatches and clean and jerks, you're more than welcome to do that as well. And that heavy single does not mean a max. It's just working up to something that might feel heavy for the day. On Tuesdays, those lighter percentages are normally heavier than on Thursdays, but it always works out, always comes out in the wash. So that's what we're doing in Barbell Club. And then this weekend, you saw it on the Facebook page, we are hosting the Mannion workout on May 1st for the 8, 9, and 10 a.m. class. The donations will be benefiting Travis Mannion Foundation. There's a link in the description, and you can learn about the foundation. A bunch of you have already registered online, but we will also be collecting donations at the gym the day of to make like a lump donation as well. If you have any other questions about that, check out the link or just ask one of the coaches and we'll point you in the right direction. We also have some new merchandise out. You guys have been asking and it's finally here. It's going to move fast. We didn't do any pre-orders for this one, so make sure you grab it while you can. We've got some really great monochromatic shirts. There's a green one, a mustard one, a black one. And there's a few of the special edition bleach shirts out. So those are very limited. So make sure you snag it. If you get one, you will need to check out with a coach. Try not to put that on. Well, just don't put it on the self-checkout. The self-checkout with the paper form is just for the stuff in the fridge. So if you're grabbing a shirt, let a coach know and they will take care of it for you. We can just charge that account on file. It's my favorite thing to do. All right. And just a reminder, guys, to make sure that you sign in and reserve to class. We've got a bunch of new members and Wodify is, Wodify. It always craps out right when we need it to work the most. And like barring any, major issues, just hit that sign in reserve button for class. And if class is full, you get put on a wait list. That means it's full. So try and find another class that works better for you or you can fit into your schedule so that you can still get your workout in. And that's because, we've got a lot of workouts we're getting through where we're using a lot of equipment and we all want that one pull-up bar on the rig. And we want to make sure you guys can get the equipment that you want and you need. So we want to make it work for you. Also, the way the wait list works is if a spot opens up, an email is sent out to everybody on the wait list, and the first person to respond to that email gets the spot. Okay? So if you really can only go to that one class, please keep an eye on your email that your Wodify is hooked up to, and that way you'll be able to respond and get that spot. All right? I think that's everything for me. Brad, what you got?
Yeah, so we are going to dive into our Ask the Coaches Anything segment. And so the question for this week comes from sort of the nutrition side of the house. Nutrition, foundational piece of anything we do inside or outside of the gym. But sometimes we want a little extra, and this is coming in the form of supplements. So the question for this week is, what is your favorite supplement to take? Street, do you want to kick us off?
Sure. It's very difficult for me to narrow down one supplement. I think if you force me to choose one supplement, I would easily choose caffeine. Just caffeine in general. Like if I'm going to work out, I need to either have a coffee or have some sort of pre-workout that has caffeine in it. I have a magic mixture that works for me, and I know everyone has seen me behind the desk just like shoving powders in my mouth, looking at me like I'm crazy. But my big three that work the best for me, and it is also very individuals. This might not be your favorite combination, but caffeine, creatine, and beets. I love the usage of beets. I have really bad circulation. And so for me, when I take beets, I feel like my blood vessels are opened up, that my blood's moving really good, I stay warm, that my fingers stay nice and warm. And so those are my big three. And I take those about 30 minutes before I plan to warm up. And at about the 45-minute mark, when I'm finally getting rolling and going, is when I feel like that's the height of those supplements for me. So about 30 minutes before I plan to warm up, I take those three. And then afterwards, I take my protein. So I can't narrow it down. That's what I do.
All the supplements.
All the supplements to take it all.
I'll go next. So for me, I think it really comes down to flavor. I feel like I've tried a lot of flavors. Like been on the Ascent train for protein for a little while, and they have the chocolate peanut butter and the cappuccino and the lemon, and that's been awesome. Dabbled in some First Form where they had some Lucky Charms flavors. They have Fruit Loops flavor. But my favorite flavor and what I think is my favorite supplement I've had so far is First Form. It's their just whey protein for after working out. They call it CTC. I think it's because it's they don't want to get in trouble, but it's basically Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It is amazing. So it brings me back to my childhood of having a lot of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So that is probably my favorite supplement is Cinnamon Toast Crunch flavored whey protein after working out. Makes working out that much more fun when you get a nice beverage to look forward to. And I don't know if it counts, but a very close second would be Fit Aid just in general. There's so many things in there, but that is probably one of my favorite beverages on planet Earth. I will drink Fit Aids until they no longer provide them. So CTC
Which
whey
is hopefully
protein.
never.
Yeah, hopefully never. And Fit Aid is a very, very close second, especially after a nice long workout.
Yeah. Mine is, I'm not on too many supplements right now. You don't get to do anything fun when you're pregnant. But what I what I can do in the morning when I make my coffee, I'm normally just a strictly black coffee person, but I've had to switch to half calf, and the flavors just aren't as great as when you're looking at full caffeinated coffee. So we've been putting the collagen powder into the coffee, and like that was like the first step just to get extra protein. I think collagen is great. It's a really good pure form of protein, and you get 20 grams. So if you're having issues meeting your protein goals, that's a great way to get it in. And then we just started doing it's MCT oil powder, and it's coming from coconut oil, which is a pretty good form of it. And it's in a powder, and then you just like use that like magical like stir thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it like makes a little froth on top of the coffee. And like we ran out of it for 2 days, and both Eric and I were like, our coffee was terrible. Like it's like a creamer without having to use dairy, which is really awesome. So that MCT oil powder and the collagen together in our coffees in the morning, that's really what I've been doing a lot of. And I really enjoy it. Just gives you a little extra kick in your coffee, which is nice.
Yeah, I love the variety of options here, which I think is a good point that if you're curious or interested in different supplements, definitely, reach out to a coach. I think a lot of us have some different experiences with different supplements and why you might be wanting to try them or what they might do in terms of benefits for performance or just, nutrition in general. So definitely reach out to us. We'd be happy to answer any questions you have about collagen, whey protein, all the stuff you can take for pre-workouts, BCAAs, and the newest trend, beta alanine. Beta alanine train right now. They love feeling a prickly little skin before the workout. So that's our Ask the Coaches Anything segment. We got a couple new faces as well as some birthdays coming up this week. So for some of the new faces that you will see, we've had a lot of people trying out Shoofly for a week, dropping into different classes. We've had some folks who've decided that it's the right community for them and they wanted to sign up and join. So some of those new faces that you're going to see a little bit more consistently, Jetta Robinson. So she's decided to jump in and join our Shoofly community. Ben, who's been going through our foundation. So you might be seeing Ben in some of those evening sessions, but he's been going through foundations and he'll be jumping into our classes when he finishes that up. We already heard about Shaylin and Nick. They've both joined the gym, so you'll be seeing them popping into classes and doing some workouts as well. And then Matt Campbell as well tried us out and has agreed that it's the right place for him to join. So you'll be seeing a little bit more of Matt Campbell as well. So as always, as you see these folks in class, go up and introduce yourself, get to know them a little bit, make sure they feel welcome. as they join our Shoofly community. And with that, we've got 2 birthdays coming up this week. We've got Fernando Munez. His birthday is this week, so be sure to wish Fernando a happy birthday. And then one other special birthday this week, Chelsea. It's her birthday. I think it's like the whole week celebration. So any
Well,
day
it's
of
been
the
a
week.
month. It's been the whole month, Brad.
The month,
But
yeah.
we can catch up this week for sure.
That's right. So if you see Chelsea this week, you can either give her a hard time or present her with some fun gift that fits her style. So we'll be wishing Chelsea and Fernando happy birthdays this week as we see them at the gym. And with that, I think that's everything we've got on tap as we close out the month of April. Some fun events coming up this week, and then we turn the page, start looking forward to May and some more of this beautiful weather outside. So from all of us at Shoofly, have a great week, and we look forward to seeing you.
Bye, everybody.
Everybody.
Bye.